So let me get this straight. So women are now not cooking, not cleaning, not... What are they doing? And who's trying to wife these women? What is going on?
What are your thoughts? Comment below.
Man, I'll be real. Whenever my girl gets mad at me, I just ignore her. Like, I'll leave her on read, go out with the boys, and let her blow up my phone. Then when I finally answer, she's always apologizing, even though she was right. Works every time.
No, baby, that just proves she loves you more than you'll ever deserve. You're not teaching her a lesson. She's teaching herself patience and wasting it on the wrong man. You don't know how to argue like a man, so you ghost her like a boy. And one day, when she finally stops calling, that silence gonna be permanent. So brag now, but remember this, when she leaves, you won't be ignored. You'll be forgotten.
A man should never have to ask his woman for affection. I know that now. Because when a man has to ask, something has already shifted. He is not asking because he is needy. He is asking because he is starving for the warmth that is supposed to come naturally from the woman he chose. And every time he has to ask, a small piece of his certainty about where he stands disappears. By the time a man stops asking altogether, it is not because he found peace. It is because he stopped believing the warmth was ever coming back.
A lot of these women don't really understand you can't mock a man for shooting his shot and then wonder why he stopped shooting. Wonder why he stopped approaching you. Because you were being...
Why are you afraid of rejection? Have you ever thought about that? Where does that thought come from? If a woman rejects you, are you going to spontaneously combust? Let me ask you a question. What is the downside or negative consequence of rejection? Why is that downside so unacceptable to you that you don't even allow yourself to take a swing in the first place? Is your spirit really that weak and fragile that you can't even handle a little bit of rejection? Napoleon, greatest military commander of all time, got exiled out of France twice. Sounds like rejection to me. You know why he got exiled twice? Because when he was exiled the first time, he picked himself back the f*** up, raised an army, and took a shot at glory once again. And you mean to tell me you can't say hi to a girl at Starbucks?
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Being a wife requires you to be feminine at all times. It's not an on and off. It's always on. If you are not capable of being in your feminine at all times, I would reconsider your status as a wife. I would say that you might not be wife material yet, because men naturally, heterosexual men, don't want to be in a relationship with another man. They're choosing a woman because they want the thing that they don't have. If you want to be wife material, you have to be the thing that attracts a man. And what attracts him is going to be your femininity.
A lot of these women don't really understand you can't mock a man for shooting his shot and then wonder why he stopped shooting. Wonder why he stopped approaching you. Because you were being...
Hi besties, we're back, and today we're going to be talking about how to know he's not boyfriend material. Because listen, if you're talking to a guy right now and he is showing you any of these red flags, this is your sign that you need to dump it. Consider this me saving your pain, so when you actually date him, you don't have to actually break up. Here, this is day 6, where I tell you how to get a boyfriend by Valentine's Day. Let's just get into it. When you're talking to a guy, the most important thing to do is some self-reflection as well. We want to make sure that we actually like this guy and we can see a potential future with him. Just because you have an active talking stage with him doesn't mean that he is boyfriend material. These are the biggest red flags. I actually have a huge list. Let's start off with the first topic, communication. Question 1, does he only text you when it's convenient for him? If he has like an 8-hour work shift and he doesn't let you know he's going to work and you're just wondering where did he go? Red flag. If he only texts you at night when it's convenient for him, red flag. It just means he's bored. He literally just has nothing to do, so he's texting you. That means that he's not going out of his way for you. That means that he's not actually boyfriend material. You want a guy that actually goes out of his way and actually wants to spend time with you and wants to text you even when it's like the busiest moment of his day. If he's at work, he should let you know, like, hey, actually I have a shift right now, or I'm gonna take a test. I'll text you when I'm done. I don't want to hear it, okay? It's bare minimum. When you tell him how you feel, does he avoid the conversation or change the subject? It's a good one, because that just means he's not emotionally ready to have certain conversations with you yet. If you're somebody who can't even communicate how you feel with your potential girlfriend, what makes you think that you're gonna date her? I'm saving you from collateral damage. The last communication red flag is, does he ever ask follow-up questions about you? And I talked about this yesterday. For example, do this test on him. If you ask him, hey, what's your favorite color? If he says, oh, it's green. But if he says, oh, it's green, what about you? That's the green flag right there, because he should be asking follow-up questions. We're not here to interview this guy. We're here to actually get to know this guy. He should actually be trying to get to know us back. And now that we're done with that, let's go to the next category. This one is effort. The real test to see how much is he actually committing in the relationship. Starting off with the first one, does he make plans in advance? This one, for example, he should not be texting you like the day of, hey, you want to go out to dinner later? When it comes to effort, if you're the only one who is planning everything, then that's how you know he's not all in it and he's not boyfriend material. You don't want to date somebody that you're literally nagging them and you're literally begging them to hang out with you or even just spend time with you. And I know it probably doesn't sound that like difficult right now. When you're in the situation when you're actually dating them, it's going to be different. In the last category, this one's probably the most important one. You're already this far into this list and you're like, nope, 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 nope. He is literally doing all of these and that is your sign to dump him. When you're with him, are you anxious or are you excited? Does he make you happier or does he kind of just put more stress on you? Are you scared he's going to be mad at you today? I've been in relationships like this before where you literally don't know what mood they're going to be in, and the mood that they're going to be in is going to make you into the same mood. Another question is, how do you really feel? Do you feel confused when you're with him? Do you feel unsure? Do you feel unsteady? Do you feel like you really, I don't know, something's wrong? Last one is, did you lower your standards for him? I used to have an ex and he was a walking red flag, and every time we did something I was like, you're lucky you're cute. I would have never let that slide. This is just why looking into the future is so important, because you will be spending a large chunk with this person. You just want to dodge a bullet in case something happens and you're like, yeah, like this guy actually just made my mental health worse. Besties, I really hope this helped you guys. By the way, my DMs on Instagram are always open and I am posting on YouTube now, so you guys can catch me there because I am posting a video all about periods this week. I'll see you guys again really soon. Bye guys. Love you.
Modern women think they're so smart. But the thing is, men know when they're being manipulated. They know when you're trying to do something or say something that is not in their best interest, and you're trying.
The best thing a man can ask you on a date is, what do you bring to the table? Because two things straight away. If you want a masculine man and his masculine energy, he is not one. He has told you straight away that relationship cannot happen. Finished. Done. But the second thing is, that man is so deep in his feminine energy that you could probably sit down, have a date with him and learn from him how to be in it. Because even the concept of sitting down and thinking, what can this person do for me and what do they bring to the table, is so in his receiving energy. The fact that he's even sitting there and having the audacity to say that is so deeply, like, I mean, I'm not even sure me and you can get that feminine, is so deeply in there that we got a lot to learn from this guy. If a being is in their masculine energy, male or female, they're thinking, what can I bring to the situation? That is why that's such a pivotal question to find out if he is in it or not. If he's asked you it straight away, you know he's not in it.
Modern women think they're so smart. But the thing is, men know when they're being manipulated. They know when you're trying to do something or say something that is not in their best interest, and you're trying to.
You keep asking God, where's your husband? And meanwhile, you're stuck in the comparison mindset, calling it preparation. Let's talk about it. And if you're not careful, that comparison will creep in and make you ask God, like, God, why don't I have a husband yet like her? Why don't I have children like her? Why don't I have a life like that? Like, what am I doing wrong? So then we naturally just start comparing our lives to other women when we should be seeking God. And that is a very dangerous place to be. So we're going to bring it back to scripture in the book of Genesis, the term ezer kenegdo, which basically translates to a strong, suitable helper. An ezer kenegdo woman is secure. She's not over here looking over her shoulder at other women, comparing her lives to them. She is not immature. She's not controlling. That type of woman is rooted. She's growing. She's refining. She's becoming. So instead of asking yourself, why don't I have that? Shift your mindset. It's asking, God, please prepare me so when you send me that moment and you send me a husband, I am prepared for it and I do not fumble it. And just because you might have been going to church your whole life and you have been raised around this does not mean that you know what it means to truly be a godly biblical wife. So it's not that God's timing is off. As you know, God's timing is always perfect, even if we don't understand it or even if we don't agree with it. But maybe ask yourself, maybe your readiness is not ready.
And one thing modern women are trying to do is get men to trust them. But your behavior says you're untrustworthy. What you do and the things that you say and how you move says to me, I can't trust you. I'm not going to trust you.
Men don't marry the love of their lives. Nope, they do not. That is something women do. Men marry the woman who is there when he is finally ready to ask that question, right? Women live in emotion, the romance, the fantasy, the story that they build in their head. And if it feels right, she is all in. She assumes it's forever and just rides that train. But men, They don't work that way. Real masculine men, they're driven by logic, right? Direction and strategy. They're wired to provide, to lead, and to carry all of the weight on their backs. And a real man knows his role: protect, provide, and build stability. So he's not going to fully commit unless his freaking nervous system says he is fully ready for that responsibility, because it's a big responsibility. He has to be able to look at her and think, you know what? I got this. I got us if things go sideways, right? You can be the most incredible, beautiful woman that he's ever met. He could adore you. But if he's not ready to handle the bills, the kids, and the chaos that comes with it, he's not going to put a ring on it. When a man finally commits, he's not just choosing you out of love. He's choosing to be responsible for you, for himself, and for the future family that comes with it. That's why men don't marry the love of their life. They marry the woman who aligns with their mission at the exact moment that they are ready to pop the question.
Modern women, it's crazy because they say that, well, I want to be left alone. I don't want men talking to me. And when men leave you alone, then you get upset. Men heard you. They stopped approaching you. They stopped messing with you and quote unquote harassing you, as you say. And now you're confused as to why the request that you made was honored. This is what you asked for. What are you talking
I went on a date and it's like, it was good. And then yet, like, I'm just tired of, like, I don't know. The bill came. The bill didn't come. He asked for the bill. And in French, he said 2 bills. And then so they came. And I was like, if someone says, I want to take you out, then I want to be taken out, which means to me to pay and whatever. So we did that. I paid and it's fine. And then after I was honest and I just said it, like, I don't know. Cause I said like, yeah, I thought you were going to take me out. And like, to me, that means pay. And then suddenly his English wasn't so good anymore. Or when he was like, I don't understand what you mean. I was honest and like, whatever, what else do I have to lose? I just want to be honest because there's a way that I want to be treated. And like, I might as well just tell someone, like, what else do I have to lose? I don't know. And then like afterwards he was like, next time I'll pay. Like unprompted, he said that after we were having another conversation. I said, okay. And then he said, are you free this week? And I said, yeah. And then I texted him after and I'm like, I had a nice time, thanks. And then he read it and didn't respond. And it's like, okay, I don't know. Like, I'm just tired of... I'm happy I was honest. But like, I just like want a gentleman.
A lot of these men approaching now are the ones that don't really care about rejection. Those are the creeps that you guys are talking about. Not all the guys, but there are a lot of men out there that are approaching that really don't care nothing about your feelings, right? I don't really care about rejection. I don't care about much else either. I don't really even care about you. I'm just trying to get
The hardest marriages for women to leave are often when they are married to husbands who are good guy presenting. And I want to explain this to you because these husbands, they don't yell, right? They don't cheat. They don't disappear. They show up when they're supposed to. They will help if you tell them exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it every single time, right? They're not necessarily they're not really chaotic. They're not necessarily scary and having, huge outbursts. They're literally just there. And I think for so many women, this is what makes it so hard to name and so hard to leave, because nothing is technically wrong, right? But nothing is deeply right either. Like, he doesn't proactively make your life easier. He doesn't anticipate your needs. He doesn't carry the mental labor with you. He just sits there waiting for instructions, like a puppy dog waiting for a command, right? And when you're exhausted and you're resentful and you're already drowning, this will make you feel like you're crazy, because you have friends whose husbands are way worse than that. You've seen the horror stories, you've seen the TikToks, you know that worse guys out there exist. And your husband isn't necessarily like that. He's a good guy, right? But good guy presenting isn't the same as being an engaged and invested and a participative partner. Bare minimum behavior wrapped in politeness is still bare minimum. And what makes it so draining is that you can't point to one big thing. It's not like one big thing happened in your marriage. It's literally by 1,000 paper cuts. It's that you're not considered without asking. You're never relieved from your duties without delegating to him first. You're never being prioritized without being prompted or reminded. And then you start wondering if you're crazy. You start wondering if you're asking for too much, wondering if you're just too hard to please, if you'll never be happy. but you're not asking for too much. You're not too hard to please. You are literally asking for partnership, but you're getting this passive participation and you're being expected to tolerate it because it could always be worse.
You know, a lot of men are not approaching because they learn their lesson, right? Tried being a gentleman, learn my lesson. Tried being, you know, the good guy, the stable guy. I learned my lesson. Try to be assertive. Try to be vulnerable. I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. In all of these situations, modern women are continuing to ruin the dating market with their...
As soon as men and women were put into positions to compete at work, in relationships, economically, politically. I mean, as soon as we were put into positions to compete, or we were told that, you know, we're equal, we are just as capable and just as able as men to do just about anything, as soon as it happened, chivalry. And here's the thing, like, we can't act like there weren't a lot of feminists out there who were making it very clear that chivalry is patriarchal. Chivalry is essentially assuming that woman is a weaker and that she has to be catered to because she's lesser than. And so all of those things, I mean, that's what was being said. Like, we can't deny that. And so now, you know, fast forward decades later and, you know, really in a post-feminist era where a lot of the things that we were fighting for have indeed been accepted. That has obviously impacted the dating and mating market. And we can't in one breath say that we are equal and we want to be partners and we want to be equivalent all across the board. And then on another token say that we're upset that guys aren't necessarily opening doors for us anymore, or that it seems like guys aren't just necessarily paying, or they're not even checking for us like they used to. Like, a lot of those things changed as soon as we were put into positions to compete. And I think this is the tension, honestly, that a lot of people are feeling in the dating and mating market, where there was so much confusion and, quite frankly, a lot of complications around how men and women should even interact with each other. Not to mention, we do live in an era where there's also guys who are legitimately afraid of, if they actually approach a woman that they find attractive and she thinks he's unattractive, she could at any moment say that he's harassing her, and he could be at risk for being, you know, taking advantage of her. So, I mean, there's just all these complications that have happened at the end of the day, now that we are very much in an era of there being a gender war, and very much in an era where men and women have been told that they are equal all across the board. And what that in essence means is that chivalry, quite frankly, is...
A lot of these modern women keep on asking, where are all the chivalrous men at? What's going on with them? Well, it's simple. You mocked him into retirement. And so now, instead of him coming out and approaching you, and even if y'all don't come together on some type of agreement, like, oh, I'm not interested, he might stick around and say, hey, you seem like a pretty cool dude. Now you don't even get that because you was being a loser. And now he's like, I don't want to deal with that.
Peacefulness? Peacefulness is one of the most attractive and awe-inspiring qualities in a woman. Now, does that mean sedate? No, because they need playfulness. They need us to play with them. It's one of the ways our energy flows to them, is when we're playing with them.
So you mentioned sleep.
Yes.
And I when I think about the woman that changes, or the woman that's in a dating relationship and frustrated and or in a marriage and she's getting frustrated, it does often source with come from a turbulence in her. You know, she has a need that's not being met. Mm-hmm. She has a frustration that she's just, you know, working at. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned sleep, and I think that's such an incredibly powerful thing that a lot of women don't have today. We're harried, we're worried, we're frazzled, we're frustrated, we're burnt out, right? In many ways. How much would you say of our relational issues are from women not really taking care of our own selves and having expectations that are impossible then for the people around us, especially the men?
It's a great question. And I would say it's pretty near 50-50. 50% is that we don't know who we're interacting with. We think we're talking to a hairy, misbehaving woman. And they're not. And they think they're talking to a scattered, emotionally indulgent man. And they're not. And so I would say at least 50% of it is misperception, misinterpretation, misunderstanding, mischief. Okay. And probably the other 50% is that we don't know how, and we don't prioritize because we don't know how important it is. We don't know how to cause ourselves to be our best selves. And this is a really big part of my work. How do you take spiritual values and embody them in a way that you naturally be that way? You don't have to say to yourself, be patient, be patient, be patient. No, you are patient.
And I think modern women have to understand that you can't have it both ways. You've been loud and clear for literal years. Don't approach me in public. It's harassment. And men heard the message and they stopped. Simple as that. And now, for some reason, modern women are confused about why men are not approaching them. You created this situation. And then you're going to blame men for following the rules that you set. That doesn't make any sense. Think about what you're talking about.
So she gets to find out firsthand what it's like dating as a man.
So one of my guy friends gave me permission to make a Hinge account for him because I was telling him how easy dating is with dating apps. And he was telling me that it's incredibly difficult. And I was like, Pete, you must be doing something wrong. And he gave me permission to create an account for him and just run the account. I've been a virtual boy for 3 days and I've never felt this bad about myself. I feel like a freaking loser trying to get these girls to like me. And I'm starting to hate women because I'm like, when I say I mean Pete, because that's the account I'm using. Pete's about a 6, but I'm so desperate. I'm liking the 2s and the 3s, and even they won't like me back. Pete, which is a 6. So what level of delusion has entered women's heads? Like, what is going on? It is so difficult dating as a boy. I hate it. I'm on day 3 of being a boy, and I hate women, and I'm more depressed than ever.
Yo, the level of delusion is through the roof when it comes to women on dating apps. But shout out to this chick for even giving it a try, because her whole point was to prove her man's Pete wrong. And women love nothing more than being right, and that's why she said I'm gonna make a dating app, and we're gonna see. And she sees quick that even the 2s and the 3s, that's how desperate she was getting, wasn't even accepting her shit, because those 2s and 3s have smashed 7, 8s, and 9s, because those dudes smashed 10s and they smashed 3s, and now their ceiling on those 2s and 3s is a guy that's like a 7 and 8, which is delusional as hell. On top of that, as a woman, she seems cute, so her swipes are probably through the roof. She probably got a laundry list worth of people and simps that's ready to date her and do whatever. Not to say that those guys are any substance, but there's still dudes that'll show her attention and all that, and she's thinking it's gonna translate to a dude doing it, and it's not. She finds out firsthand dudes swipe like crazy and hardly get any likes back. You gotta be Superman to even get a date nowadays when it comes to being a dude. And she finds out, she even talks about, I'm hating women, getting depressed, because as a woman, they like to be right, they like the attention. And as playing this dude Pete, who's a 6, he's a 5 is average, so he's above average according to her, and he can't get. Her whole point is to prove him wrong, because chicks like to be right, and she can't do it because the truth is it's hard dating as a man. The entitled women, the hypergamy, the inflation, the hoflation, it's crazy. And there are good women out there, but on dating apps, it's just not it. So shout out to her. She found out real quick, because it didn't take that long, what it's like dating as a man, and that ain't easy.
The cold approach died when approaching became a crime. It's really what happened, right? So when you started recording men, started insulting men, shaming men, doing all this other dumb stuff, that's when men said, oh, shoot, this not for me. Oh, this not the life for me. Oh, she's not that cute. Oh, man, I got dressed up. I look cute and no men approached me. Have you ever audited the way you act when men come and approach you? Have you ever thought about that?
Black women are the most single, and we have the biggest women. How do I know we're the most single? Real quick, y'all, here are the marriage numbers. Among all U.S. adults, 49% of women are currently married compared to 53% of men. 27% of Black women are married, 49% never married. 34% of Black men married, 50% never married. 31% of Black people married, 50% never married. I'm reading all that for the record. I want you to focus on this one stat today. 27% of Black women are married, 49% never married. Okay, just focus on that stat. You compare that to all in the United States, like 48% of all married, or of all people in the United States are married, and Black women are 27%. That's a huge difference. And we're going to focus on body and the way that that impacts this number today, although we could talk about other things. Most men want a woman they are attracted to, who could carry and care for their children if they choose to have children. They want quality of life and know that being with a woman who is not physically fit will greatly impact that. Your health is wealth. So being unhealthy, too fat, too big, okay, effectively makes you broke in that regard. I'm making the simple argument that if Black women were more physically fit, their chances at marriage would increase. It wouldn't solve the whole problem. Again, the attitude and mindset need to match up. Too many Black women, 8 out of 10, are at least over a normal weight, or are at least overweight and can even get into obesity. If you want to account for some of you with a whole bunch of muscle, okay, let's take that down to 6 or 7 out of 10. I will give that to you for the sake of the argument. It's still too much. That means that more than half of you, let's say 60 to 70% of you are actually just too fat, are actually just like truly, genuinely overweight and obese because of fat on your body. Are y'all following me? Too big to fit, generally fit what a man, especially a high quality man, are we talking about someone with good character? We're talking about someone who, yes, is financially able to support you and the family. Yeah. I mean, men who want to get away from providership in a traditional sense, you're not the man for this group. Okay. Just like women who don't want to care about their body, you're not the woman for this group. Okay. Other groups, fine.
Men don't like to go down anymore. Like, they do not go downtown. That is just the cold, hard truth. None of them like it anymore. Prove me wrong.
Oh, how did I meet your father? Well, he slid into my DMs with a fire emoji, and I just knew that was it. Oh, how did we meet? It's a funny story. Should I tell it? He commented "Gym Mommy" underneath my leg day post, and honestly, it was so refreshing. Oh my gosh, I actually love telling the story of how we met. He actually sent me a TikTok at 11:11 p.m. and he said, "This made me think of you." Oh my gosh, I knew he was interested right away when he liked one of my posts from 2022, and I was like, this guy really is doing his research. And now we're in love. You want to know how we met? TikTok's algorithm kept pushing me to his For You page, so shout out to Destiny and TikTok.
So this is what happens when you start reaching the age of 35 and up, right? When you reaching the age of 35 and up, you know what happens? Those women want to circle back to those good men that they played in their face. They want to circle back to the good guy that was trying to pursue them the whole time. So you know what they'll do? They'll go back and circle back. Hey, you know, how you doing? Send a text. You know, hey, remember me? And the guy didn't forget. He's just not interested in her at that age anymore. And now that he has even more money, more access, he does not want a woman that's her age anymore. He wants the younger woman, which is you, 25 to 34. And again, 34 is also a stretch. Some men will be like 33. Some men are like 30, right? So what I'm saying is, so now the women circle back. Now they're trying to like give themselves to the guy and everything like that. Like, okay, he was so nice and kind. So they'll sleep with the guy. But the guy already know that's not my wife no more. That's not my wife, right? And so they'll enjoy themselves knowing they're not going to marry her. I'm not saying this is right. When you guys hear me, right? I want you to really hear me with some wisdom, with some maturity, so we can have conversations that are nuanced enough to help people. I am not saying that what that guy did using her, now that she knows that she's desperate, and a man can read desperation from the moon. Let me tell you now, the way you guys think men are slow is unreal to me. They act slow to get what they want because they're logical. They're not going to fight with you. They're not going to argue with you. They're not. Stop thinking men are slow. They are actually sophisticated because they're built and wired to survive. So when you're coming back, spinning the block, when the women 35 and up are spinning the block like, okay, oh, I remember he was good. I should have given him a chance. They regret. They have a lot of regret. So they go back to the guy, has a good job, probably was an engineer, wasn't tech. You called him nerdy. You called him corny. You thought he was desperate. You thought you had a lot of options. And so what happens, that guy's not interested anymore. They're looking at you all, the 25 to 34-year-olds. Right? And so now she's like, oh, let me sleep with him, let him know I'm serious. He sleeps with her, moves on. She goes back to the other guy that was good. He was like, let me see how this person is doing. She goes back, same thing, sleeps with her, move on. That's not the wife. This happens over and over again. That you hear the older women, they'll say things like this: all men are dogs. When they say all men are dogs, this is what they're talking about. When they say all men are no good, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about lived experiences of people they have said no to previously, spun the block on, and those men are no longer interested. They're like, nope, I remember when I was coming for you and I was serious about you. The women won't tell you those stories about how there were men that were actually serious. Men are good character. And let me just be clear, I'm never talking about what is it called, Pookie and Ray Rays. I don't even operate at that level. I'm not talking about those no good men. This is not that conversation. So don't let anyone skew anything I ever have to say about, oh, I'm telling women to settle with bad men and all that. Never. I don't even eat at that level. I don't even see those men. I don't even operate at that level. Right? And so if you're listening, I just want to be clear. Don't get fooled when you hear older women who are now bitter and jaded because the men they thought that were going to keep coming after them at that level, at that pace, at that aggressiveness, wanting them, has slowed down significantly, or are no longer looking their way. And so they're like, whoa, that's when they're like, oh my goodness, I need to get serious now. Let me start seeing. And by the time they get what I'm trying to tell you now, when you're 24, 34, it's already too late. And not too late forever, because I recorded something, options that things that they can do and stuff like that. But you get the point I'm making, right? So I'm going to come back for the last video.
You asked me out, I said no, and then you moved on to my friend. Does that make sense?
Very much so. You don't like me to be your friend, though.
It just gives like,
why you gatekeeping your friend?
Kind of anything.
It's weird.
It is weird.
It's weird to me.
So you want my friend? Like, I don't get that. Like, there's other girls.
I wanted you, but you said no. But your friend fine too.
So if homegirl like you and you don't like her, and then you cool with that? Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock it down. Shit, I don't want her.
Why am I asking that?
Why you mad? Why you mad? Because you don't want me.
I don't really want to date somebody that thought my friend was attractive too. It's like,
stop hanging out with fine friends. Y'all girls be like, oh, all my are fine. All my friends look good. Don't get mad when your friends look good.
But if it was the same thing, girl on a date with a guy, didn't work out, and then she goes to your friend, she's already got a label attached to her, or no?
Well, I know what, in general, you are correct.
Thank you.
But for me, I don't get it.
I just had some guy come up to me, ask me for $37 so he could get a tow truck. If you're the guy watching this, I'm sorry. Don't approach women. Don't approach me. I'm scared of you. I don't care what you look like. You are scaring me as a middle-aged man. I'm scared. Also, to the girls out there, a man never asks a lady for help, okay? Unless he's trying to get at you or something, okay? Be aware, ladies. You don't need to help anybody out. I said, no thanks. That's all I said. I didn't say no, I'm sorry. I just said, no, I'm good today. Thank you. Do I feel like an asshole? Kind of, but have I been pulled one too many times? Somebody did that to me. Yes. Last time I tried to be nice to somebody who asked for money, I gave him $50 because I didn't have any less change, and she was a con artist. So I'm never helping anyone ever. The only time I will help out a man is if you're in the ladies department and you have a lady question. Lady questions only. Do not ask me to help you. I'm not going to help you.
And that's really it. That's really it. I think he's exposing what men go through. It's like the trap, right? Modern women have pretty much eliminated every single location that a man used to meet him. the man used to approach. And then you're acting confused as to why men stop approaching you. Where else is he supposed to go? What else is he supposed to do? You told him, don't approach here. Don't go there. Don't do this. Don't do that. And now guys are like, well, there's not really anywhere that I can approach without being labeled a creep. Man, these women